Here's an unpleasant truth. Humans get bored fast, especially with our purchases. That dream kitchen you obsessed over for years? After a few months, it's just the room where you reheat leftovers and make the same 3 meals. The brand new car you fantasized about becomes a metal box that moves you from A to B. That iPhone 17 Pro Max you researched for weeks turns into a rectangle for texts and email.
So what do most people do?
They start daydreaming about the next upgrade, convinced this time the glow will last. That's lifestyle inflation, also called lifestyle creep, and it's a major reason people keep buying stuff they don't need. Look at the data. Studies on lifestyle creep show the average American increases spending by 70 to 100% of every raise. Some go further and spend in anticipation of the raise. I had a friend in investment banking who was always strapped for cash. Not because he didn't earn enough, but because he got hooked on spending next year's raise this year. He made close to $500,000 annually. But if you're spending $600,000 while earning $500,000, the math isn't mysterious. You're either broke or you're about to be.
You, on the other hand, are playing a different game.
You aren't secretly waiting to upgrade your life the moment a pay bump hits. You've trained yourself to be content with the present. To be more than fine living last year's lifestyle this year. That's one of the core principles of wealth and life satisfaction. Knowing when enough is enough.
Naval Ravikant put it simply.
Happiness is wanting what you already have. That boring habit, sticking with last year's lifestyle, quietly funnels money into your future. Meanwhile, colleagues making the same or more are living paycheck to paycheck. They're on the hedonic treadmill, needing more and more to feel exactly the same. You've stepped off. Now every raise and windfall is rocket fuel for your investing plan, not a reservation for your next upgrade. 2, you're selectively cheap and strategically generous. LeBron James is one of the most recognizable athletes alive. 4 championships, 4 MVPs, 20 All-Star nods, and a billionaire net worth built from NBA contracts, Nike deals, and smart business moves. You'd think someone at that level wouldn't blink at expenses. Plenty of stars don't. Private jets on every leg. The priciest option every time.
LeBron is different.
He's selectively cheap. He's joked about refusing to pay for Spotify Premium or ad-free Pandora. He avoids pricey data roaming on trips. Teammates have roasted him for hotspotting instead of springing for Wi-Fi. A billionaire who won't spend $10 a month for ad-free music? Yep. And yet he reportedly spends $1.5 million a year maintaining his body. Private chefs, trainers, massage therapists, cutting-edge recovery tech, elite wellness services. He treats his body like the billion-dollar asset it is. He knows exactly where to pinch pennies and where to invest like crazy. You might not be a global superstar, but you share the same strategy. You're happy to cut pointless costs, overlapping subscriptions, roaming fees, the premium plan you don't actually need. But when it comes to things that compound, your skills, career leverage, and assets, you don't flinch. The mindset is backed by the millionaire next door. Surveys show the average millionaire drives a car around $20,000, buys off-the-rack clothes, and skips status spending. But they lean in hard on the stuff that builds wealth: education, tools, teams, and appreciating assets. That's the code you've cracked. Be cheap where it doesn't matter. Be intense where it does. It's boring. It's rational. And it works. 3, you actually track your money. Ask most people where their money goes, and they'll say, "I've got a pretty good handle on it." In reality, many are living in financial fantasy land. Consistent research shows people underestimate monthly spending by 20 to 30%, especially on non-essentials. Dining out is a classic blind spot. Track it for real, and you'll see the gap. The person who thinks they spend $200 a month on restaurants often spends closer to $400. Subscriptions are another foggy area. Surveys find Americans underestimate both the number and cost of their subs. Many guess about $100 a month. The actual average is well over $200. You're different. You know where your money goes because you have a system. Maybe it's a spreadsheet. Maybe it's an aggregator that pulls in all accounts. Maybe it's a weekly calendar block where you scan card transactions and tag them. The method is less important than the reality. You measure it. And as Peter Drucker said, what gets measured gets managed.
This isn't a new idea, and it's not just for people who need to budget.
Many of the wealthiest humans alive tracked obsessively, even when they didn't need to. John D. Rockefeller kept a personal ledger starting at 16, documenting every penny. As his fortune grew, he continued reviewing expenses with surgical focus.
Sam Walton,
Walmart's founder, carried pocket notebooks everywhere, recording costs and questioning store expenses down to the paper clips, long after he was one of America's richest men.
Arnold Schwarzenegger tracked workouts,
Meals, and money across bodybuilding, acting, and business. He credits his success to counting the reps, including financial ones. I treated money like I treated my sets. I counted every single one. Notice the pattern. These are not people who had to track. They tracked because that's how they got rich and how they stayed rich. Once you build the habit, it's hard to stop because the clarity is addictive. You've discovered the same truth. While everyone else is asking, where did my money go at month end, you already know, line by line. That awareness lets you make tiny, boring adjustments that compound into real money over years. Cancel the zombie sub here, trim the leak there, redirect $150 per month to your investments, and let time do the heavy lifting. Quiet, unglamorous, unstoppable. Why these boring habits beat flashy hacks? None of this trends on social media. Living last year's lifestyle won't get you applause. Being selectively cheap isn't Instagrammable. Tracking expenses is about as exciting as flossing. And yet these are the foundational behaviors that separate "I hope it works out" from "it worked."
contentment gives you a permanent surplus.
Raises become fuel, not fireworks. Selective frugality channels that surplus into high-leverage bets, skills, tools, assets. Tracking keeps you honest, so your plan is reality-proof, not vibes-based. While others keep chasing the next shiny thing, you're building a machine that doesn't care about moods. It just converts boring consistency into freedom. 4. You automate everything, so willpower can't wreck your plan. Knowing where your money goes is good. Making the right moves without thinking is better. That's what automation does. It takes wealth building out of the "I'll do it later" zone and locks it into your life like rent and gravity. Humans make something like tens of thousands of micro decisions a day. If your savings depend on willpower after all that decision fatigue, you've already lost. You promise yourself, "I'll move that extra $1,000 after my next paycheck." And then, life. The car needs brakes. The kid needs braces. A friend plans a last-minute weekend. Suddenly, that $1,000 has 12 different jobs, and none of them are compounding in your brokerage account. You tell yourself it's a one-off. Then it's 2 months, 3, then it's never. You don't rely on discipline. You've pre-baked discipline into the system. Bills are on autopay, so late fees never touch you. The moment your paycheck lands, money flows to your 401k, IRA, brokerage, and savings before you see it. You even turned on auto escalation. Every January, your retirement contribution bumps up 1%. You don't feel it day to day, but over time, it's a 6-figure swing. David Bach wrote about this in The Automatic Millionaire. People who automate end up with far more than people who mean to transfer money manually. We don't need a study to believe it either. We all know why it works. Automation deletes forgetfulness, deletes friction, deletes "I'll do it tomorrow." While everyone else is nudging sliders in their banking app and promising themselves a better month, your pipes are quietly pumping cash towards your future right now. 5. You run a basic investment strategy and refuse to apologize for it. Yes, basic. The kind of basic that would make a con artist influencer roll their eyes. While other people are trying to cosplay as hedge fund heroes, you're buying boring, broad index funds like it's 1975. No 6-monitor day trading setup. No crypto victory laps. No "I found the next Tesla" speeches. Your whole thesis fits in a sentence a 5-year-old can understand. I buy a little of everything, and I hold it for a very long time. That's it. And while the internet chases highlights, your grandma strategy stacks real money. Let's list the crimes of this method. Instead of picking stock winners, you own the market through low-cost index funds. Instead of pretending you can zigzag around rates, tariffs, or headlines, you buy and hold. Basically forever. Instead of levered BRRRR marathons across 4 cities, you might buy one quality property you can comfortably hold. Basically forever. Is it exciting? Not even a little. Is it effective? Across decades? Brutally. While friends in hot fields discuss private equity, exotic options, and the world's most complicated tax loss harvest, your 10-minute plan keeps compounding. No fireworks, just math. Embrace the boredom. The need for cleverness is how a lot of smart people talk themselves out of wealth. 6. When it's noisy, you do nothing. On purpose. This is the pinnacle of dull and maybe your most powerful habit. You've automated the money. You've picked simple, diversified, low-cost investments. Now, your main job most of the time is to sit still. Markets drop 20%. The TV lights up with meltdown graphics. Your group chat is buzzing. Coworkers burst in with stories of 400% meme stock gains or a 10,000% altcoin rocket. The urge is to do something. Sell, chase, switch, hedge, protect, pounce. You don't. You ignore the dopamine machine and stick to your long-term plan. John Bogle, Vanguard's founder, put it perfectly. Don't do something. Just stand there. Financial media thrives on urgency. Act now. You're missing out. Protect yourself. It's engineered to hit your fight or flight. For every moonshot that went 10,000%, there are thousands that quietly died. No one comes to the office bragging they lost 90% on a sure thing. Yes, your one fund portfolio isn't sexy. Dollar cost averaging won't make headlines. A boring 7 to 10% annualized return will not trend on TikTok. But this do-nothing stance saves you from the most expensive mistakes: panic selling near bottoms and FOMO buying near tops. While others keep yanking the steering wheel, you keep compounding. Boring wins. 7. You play decades, not days. This is the secret sauce that makes all the other habits unstoppable. You're not trying to look smart next quarter. You're trying to be free in 10, 20, 30 years and stay that way. Jeff Bezos once said that if everything must work on a 3-year horizon, you'll have tons of competition. Stretch to 7 years and the field thins dramatically. Stretch to decades and you're almost alone. That's what you've done with money. While the world crowds into get rich next year, you pick the lane labeled get rich for good. Even through 2 huge crashes, broad diversified portfolios historically delivered solid mid-single to high single-digit annual returns for people who just held on. Meanwhile, the average investor who tried to dance in and out often lagged by 3 to 6 percentage points per year. Over 20 years, that gap is the difference between comfortable and why did I do this to myself? You're not trying to be the smartest investor. You're trying to be the most patient one. Stack your boring habits, give them time, and the outcome shifts from hope to inevitable. Tie it all together. Here's why these 4 snoozers work so well together. Automation turns good intentions into guaranteed behaviors. A basic strategy keeps costs low and mistakes rare. Doing nothing during storms prevents the 2 biggest money errors: panic selling and FOMO buying. A decades lens gives compounding the time it needs to do outrageous things. Individually, they help. Combined, they're a machine. While most people chase excitement, you're quietly building a fortress. Paychecks auto-split, funds auto-buy, you ignore the noise, and time multiplies everything. So when the headlines scream and your feed begs for a reaction, remember, your wealth doesn't care about drama. It cares about inputs repeated for years. Keep last year's lifestyle. Be selectively cheap and strategically generous. Track the money. Automate the system. Run the basic plan. Do nothing when it's loud. Play decades, not days. That's 7 boring habits. Quiet, unflashy, and absolutely lethal in the best possible way.